Sue. Perfect timing. He's in Florida. He's calling her. He just didn't tell Sue. I love your shirt. I have to tell you, while we're waiting for Sue, I get a note. Jim says, don't wear black because you disappear in the chair. Good evening, everyone. It being 7:32 on Tuesday, December 6th, 2022, we will begin our Town Council meeting for the evening. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence for all those who serve in our military, at home and abroad, and for their families. Thank you. Clerk Semino, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Councilor Baraka.
Here.
Councilor Flaherty.
Here.
Councilor Hume.
Here.
Councilor Mackin.
Here.
Councilor Maglio.
Here.
Councilor O'Brien. Present. Councilor Reynolds.
Here.
Councilor Ringus.
Here.
Councilor Ryan.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Clerk Semino. We do have council members who are participating remotely this evening. Therefore, all votes will be by roll call tonight. So I'd like to begin our meeting with our announcements, and I'd ask Mayor Kokoros, thank you for joining us tonight, if you'd like to give us the announcement for Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day tomorrow.
Thank you, Madam President, councilors. Tomorrow we will be remembering Pearl Harbor Day, and our ceremony will be right here at 10 a.m., right here in Cahill Auditorium, and we will have coffee and donuts to follow. Everyone is welcome to attend. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. And that precedes our annual Braintree Christmas party, which will be held on December 8th. That's Thursday evening, beginning at 6:30 at Campanelli's. Always a fun evening. And that's Campanelli's on Pearl Street this year. Admission is an unwrapped toy to donate to the Marge Crispin Center, so we hope we will see you there on Thursday night. Does any other counselors have announcements this evening? All right. In that case, we will move on to our approval of minutes from September 20th, 2022. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Councilors Hume and Ringus. Clerk Semino, roll call vote for the minutes, please.
Councilor Baraka.
Yes.
Councilor Flaherty.
Aye.
Councilor Hume.
Aye.
Councilor Mackin.
Aye.
Councilor Maglio.
Aye.
Councilor O'Brien.
Aye.
Councilor Reynolds.
Aye.
Councilor Ringus.
Aye.
Councilor Ryan.
Aye.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you very much. All right, we'll be moving on to our communications this evening, and I am absolutely delighted to have Braintree High School junior Calvin O'Brien with us this evening. Calvin is a member of Braintree High School Environmental Club, and he is here to tell us about an initiative the club has been working on that is open to the whole town. So Calvin, I will turn it over to you.
Hello, Braintree residents and town council members. I'm Calvin O'Brien. I'm here to present to you about an event being held by the Braintree High School Environmental Club. I am a lifelong astronomer and environmentalist, and as this event is held very near and dear to my heart. I began this initiative back when the Environmental Club met with Ms. Barrica back in the spring of this year. This event is what I'd like to call a voluntary blackout. We are encouraging residents to turn off their lights for 1 hour on the night of December 13th, these hours being from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. And we are holding an event at Braintree High School in the field next to the football field, you know, where the little kids play flag football. The hope is that with enough town support and a little luck from the weatherman, we will be able to view the peak of the Geminid meteor shower. This event is approved by both Dr. Scully and Superintendent Lee, and we will be stationing we will hope to have a stationed police car outside of the event in the front lobby. And along with this, we will be providing translucent red tape to put over flashlights so that residents will be able to see in the dark field. While the meteor shower is one aspect of the plan, awareness to light pollution is a major, major part of it. Light pollution is a major problem. It has terrible effects on both humans and animals. In humans, it disrupts the circadian rhythm, causing a host of mental health problems such as anxiety and insomnia. And in animals, such as birds, which navigate using the stars, they have trouble making it back to their nests, their eggs, their babies. Braintree is a well-regulated town as far as light pollution goes. Our streetlights are accorded to the International Dark Sky Association, but we would like to encourage other towns surrounding us to follow these regulations as well and inform our residents about the effects of light pollution. Along with this, we'd like to provide an educational experience for our town's youth, as this is an invaluable experience in a suburban town like Braintree, where the light might be too strong to see meteors as well as in like Western Mass, say. So what I'm asking from the council and from anyone here is to help promote the event. Use your platform, use your social media to encourage residents to first turn off their lights on that allocated hour and to come attend the event at Braintree High School. As a fundraiser for the club, we will be hopefully providing some hot chocolate, and of course I encourage residents that come to dress warmly. We might not be able to predict the cloud cover that night, but we will be able to predict that it will be very cold. Thank you, and I'd like to open the floor to questions.
Thank you so much, Calvin, and I know we have Patriot Ledger reporter Fred Hansen with us here this evening, so hopefully Fred is taking note of this as well, and great job. I have never seen a meteor shower, so I'm really looking forward to this event next week, and I'd love to open up the floor to any of my colleagues with questions or comments for Mr. O'Brien. Okay. Councillor Flaherty?
Thank you. Is there a rain date in case it does rain? And how long does the meteor shower last?
So unfortunately, we don't have a rain date, and the weather forecast will cause me to lose sleep for the next week. But yeah, unfortunately, due to the nature of this specific meteor shower, there is no real rain date.
Thank you. Okay. Any other, Councillor Maglio?
Yes, I am so excited about this. Thank you for coming and for giving us this information and for working on this. I'm wondering, is there a link to your environmental club so that when we share it on social media, if people have more information or they want to give because they can't attend, how would they do that?
So I really don't know. The club is restricted to Braintree High School students only and Braintree High School teachers. So I guess any way to just spread the word on social media with your own platform would work.
And if I might, Counselor Maglio, Calvin's presentation is in the council documents, which is in the public record, along with some additional resources for residents, so we can disseminate that material through what we have in our packets this evening.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
What else? Counselor Reynolds?
President Calvin, great job on this, and I'd like to applaud you and your fellow classmates and the teachers who have encouraged this and your interest through the years. I had an opportunity to see or experiencing dark skies up in Nova Scotia this past summer, and it was just absolutely amazing, amazing. So I really applaud this effort. I would agree with the benefits in the way that you had stated, the natural world in particular, and we as human beings in the natural world also being affected by this. Have you had an opportunity to engage with any of the businesses in town or the town government itself?
Unfortunately, we have not been able to reach out to businesses. This is just the first year that we'd like to hold this event. Hopefully, once the word gets out, we'll be able to reach out to businesses in advance next year. That's the working plan.
That's it. You put the stake in the ground. You've started somewhere, so I applaud you. We wish you the best of luck with the good weather.
Thank you.
Okay.
Counselor Hume?
Well, welcome and thank you for being here and presenting this to us. I had no idea about this. I unfortunately will be out of town, so I will miss it. But for the funds you raise, what is it that your club will do with the funds, or what are they in need of?
So we're constantly trying to raise money for different events that we're holding. If I could relay this one to Ms. Fitz.
You need to come to the microphone and state your name and affiliation, please.
Hi, I'm Molly Fitzgerald. I'm the advisor to the Environmental Club. So some of the events that we hold annually, one of our big ones is a tree planting event, for instance, around Braintree. So we like to raise funds specifically so that we can provide, in this specific case, saplings for people that can't afford them. So in the springtime, generally, we sell them for about $5, aiming to plant as many trees around Braintree. Last year, we planted about 330, I believe. But that's one of the things that we raise funds for. And there's other events that we're sort of kickstarting this year. This is one of them. But the tree planting is our biggest. So.
And so it's the Braintree High School Environmental Club, is that your official name? So
Correct.
if somebody did want to make a donation, they could send it to Braintree High School, care of Braintree Environmental Club, right?
Correct.
128 Town Street, Braintree, Mass. 02184. There's your plug. Great job, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. And Calvin, I have one final question. Is the Geminid meteor shower an annual event?
Yes,
All
it's caused by Earth entering the former path of the comet 3200 Phaethon, which happens yearly.
Excellent. Wow. Well, I'm really looking forward to it, and thank you again for being here. Keep up the great work.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Calvin. Staying at the geographic 128 Town Street, we will now ask Mayor Kokoros to join us for an update on the Peterson Pool. Thank you for being with us tonight, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Madam President, councilors. We have been working with Edge Group to put an agreement together, and initially, the first thing was to work with our swim team at the high school and our hockey teams as well, and secure the times that they would need the facility. As well, we have reached out to our youth hockey, and they've put together a schedule that would work for them. And at this point, Edge is working to put together commitments for remaining time to make the project, put the project together. So we stay committed to continuing to work with them to eventually finish this project. But at this point, we are still in negotiations, and we are still working with them to get to the final result. And we remain positive on this, and we probably we try to talk every couple of weeks just to see where the progress is as far as Edge Sports, and we certainly all would love to see this happen, and we're going to continue to work towards that goal.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. With that, I would offer if there's any questions from councilors on this. Councilor Flaherty?
Thank you. Negotiations on this have taken a fairly long time, and now that you've rounded up the information from the swim and hockey teams about times when they would need the facility and also the youth hockey schedule that would work for them, what are the remaining areas of negotiation that are still in play?
Well, in order for this facility to work for the developer, they need to make sure that they have the slots of times filled. So it's really about economics at this point. And one thing that I don't want to end up having happen is what happened with the first and second contractors. So we are being extremely mindful of that, and we are working to make sure that when this agreement is signed, that it works and is equitable for both parties, and make sure that it will be sustained for a number of years. So one of the commitments we made was to make sure that our youth hockey would get a rate that was below market, and we're working on that as well. So the ball's kind of in their court right now, but they are working with us.
So, as I understand it, for the last two groups that were focused on this, there was difficulty with securing financing. Has there been a demonstrated ability on the part of Edge Sports Group to be able to secure financing on this?
Yes, and there was a committee that was put together to review all the documents, and I think essentially it's just about filling the remainder of the time. It would have been optimal if we could utilize all the time for our local groups, but at this point, they need to bring programs in order to offset the difference in the time slots.
Thank you.
Sure.
Councilor Reynolds?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. I know that there's an outstanding lawsuit with the previous developer, Mr. Kokinos. Is there any status on that?
I would firstly say that, because there is litigation involved, I really can't get into it, but I can give you the public information, and that would be that the lawsuit, when it was filed, the plaintiff filed for an injunction to stop us from rebidding it, and failed in filing that injunction. It was not imposed on us, so yes, there is pending litigation, ongoing litigation, but the injunction failed. They failed to get a positive on the injunction against us.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. And certainly I don't want to go into anything that is still pending before the courts. Would you be able to comment at all as whether or not that outstanding issue is in any way impeding the progress of the current negotiations?
It hasn't come up in any of the conversations that we've had, so I would say no, based on that.
Okay, that is not a concern of the Edge Sports Group?
Like I said, it hasn't come up, so.
Okay, okay. Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
Sure.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilor Reynolds. Anybody else? Councilor Maglio?
Good evening, Mayor.
Good evening.
So as someone who came aboard after a lot of this happened, there's just a couple of questions I have about it. So the first contractor, they're gone. The second contractor, we're in litigation with, right? The third contractor, that's who you're in negotiations with. And
Correct.
it's for a pool and a rink,
Correct.
okay? And what you're looking at in terms of this formula is, will there be enough use so that whatever the numbers are in order to create this final complex, that the developer will get their money back? Or it will be profitable,
At least,
operational and
Yeah.
profitable and...
that's fair to say.
Okay. And is there any sort of timeline that you are looking at, and a very rough outside timeline?
Hopefully, I'll come back to you after the first of the year and have, positive news. We seem to be working in that direction, so I would, be more than happy to come back after the first of the year and see if we've made progress.
And then one last question. Is there additional funding that the town will be putting into this?
The town has, I believe, 636,000, somewhere in that range left in the Peterson Pool account. So that would be part of some or most of that would be part of the final upon completion.
Okay, and like the full boat for something like this, like how many millions?
Well,
know?
I'll tell you, if you were asking me, through the chair, sorry, if you were asking me 2 years ago, it would probably be about 24 million, but it could be somewhere in the $30+ million range right now.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We will be looking forward to an update after the first of the year. You're always welcome, and appreciate the update this evening. And you can stay where you are because you're next on the agenda as well. This was an item that one of, I believe, Councilor Hume had brought up, so thank you, Councilor Hume. If you want to let us know about a program, Flags for Military Personnel. And again, thank you to Councilor Hume for bringing this to my attention.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair, Madam President, and Councilor Hume. We were part of the council that brought these flags. So at this point, what we've done is we have the Vinnie Fontaine, our veterans agent, is going to take charge of making sure that individuals that are family members that are looking to have the flags sent to their family members that are serving, he's taking care of that. At this point, so the flag, if folks that may not know, is a 3x5 flag that represents Braintree for military personnel, that is Braintree folks that are serving. So what we're going to do is we currently have 16 flags that are funded, and we are working on some additional funding as requests come in for additional flags. And I'll just give Vinnie's number if there's anyone that would like to request a flag. Vinnie's number is 781-794-8217. And let me just look at that again. Yeah, 8217. So if anyone has a family member or someone that they would like to have a flag sent to, you would go through Vinnie. The only requirement is that they have documentation to prove that they have military service. But that's the plan right now, is to have it through our veterans agent, because he's in a better position and has better contact with the families of veterans, et cetera.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Councilor Hume?
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As you mentioned when we were on the council together, Jean Healy brought this before us. It was a way to honor our veterans who were actively serving. The flag goes to them, a flag goes to their family, and it was all through donations. Many people, there was a lot of money, a lot of flags put out there. Ed Spellman confirmed a few weeks ago there's still money in there. Lee Dingy, former counselor, former council president, was also involved in this. There's still so many of our residents who are actively serving and families don't know about this. And this is, I don't want people to confuse this with the flags that were out there for Veterans Day, which Vinnie also did, which were absolutely amazing. The photographs of the veterans with their branch of service, that's something different. And I wanted him to be here too, which will get him to a future meeting to talk about that, because he's going to add more flags to that in the future. There is a cost to those flags. This flags, the individual serving gets to have the flag wherever they are deployed to, and then the family gets to one. And then there's also a certificate goes to one. I know there was one recently issued, and that family received the certificate but not the flag, and they are so grateful. It meant so much to them that it's hard enough for these families to let their sons, daughters, brothers, sisters go off and serve our country. But it just meant a lot to them that the town of Braintree appreciated that, and they look forward to getting that flag, as I'm sure many others do. So I'm hoping this program grows and that all of our troops come back safely. And so thank you for your support of this, continued support, Mayor Kokoris. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Councilor.
Thank you, Councilor Hume. Great program, and now more people will know about it, so thank you for that. Any other comments? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Before we move on to our old business, I do want to recognize and thank, in addition to Mayor Kokoros, who is here with us this evening, we have Chief of Staff Nicole Taub, our Finance Director Ed Spellman, Bob Cole, our Deputy Assessor, along with members of the Board of Assessors, Robert Cusack, who is the Chair, Susan O'Brien, the Vice Chair, and Robert Conley, who's a member. So thank you so much for being with us this evening. We'll now turn to our old business, number 22065, Mayor Tax Rate Classification, or take up any action relative thereto. At this point, I will refer to Councilor Reynolds, Chairman of the Committee of Ways and Means, for that committee's recommendation.
Thank you, Madam President. The Committee on Ways and Means met on December 1st and again this evening and voted unanimously to recommend approval for this motion.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone from the Mayor's office? Mayor Kokoros.
Thank you, Madam President, councilors. I come before you tonight to ask for your support of the tax rate classification. I first want to recognize, as you did recognize, our Chairman, Robert Cusack, Vice Chair, Susan O'Brien, and Member Robert Conley for their hard work. There's a lot that goes into this, and I also want to thank Bob Cole, who has stepped in as our acting director, and truly want to express my sincere thanks to Elizabeth Sullivan and Christina Vong, who have really done a tremendous job, and it's been a very difficult time for them. But they've stepped up, and I thank them for their hard work in the department. And finally, I want to recognize Bob Brinkman, and we wish he could be here with us this evening, but we send our thoughts and prayers to him and his family. So we have 4 motions that are before you tonight, and I think everybody has already voted on this last year, so we're looking for the tax classification shift, and we are looking for us to adopt the 175% shift. And although it doesn't reduce the total dollars of taxes collected, instead allows us to do the shift that really helps us take some of the burden away from our residents as far as the tax burden. And, you know, when you think about a lot of the quality of life issues, because we have so much thriving business in town, it makes sense. And as we look through and we look at the tax rate, potential tax rate of 977, it's a reduction. But at the same time, we have Our home values are increasing, and the average home value has increased by approximately $30,000. So Braintree's real estate market on the residential side is still strong. But also, if we look at with the shift, so by adopting the shift, and this is why I asked that we do this tonight, there's a difference of approximately $1,363 by doing the shift, and it's a significant amount of money. The average homeowner is going to pay approximately $187.60 based on the shift, and we've had some significant increases, obviously, in property values across the board. Commercial properties have increased 3.47%. What's a little bit remarkable here is the industrial property values have increased 6.94%, and that's a really good sign because it's showing how healthy that particular sector is. And overall, the commercial industrial has an increase of a little over 4%, and the industrial rate based on the shift would drop from 21.64 to 21.20, and we're looking at approximately the residential taxpayers by doing this shift would pay approximately 64.5% of the overall tax levy. In addition to the shift, the small business exemption is a very significant part of helping small businesses by allowing them, if they have less than 10 employees, if their building's assessed at $1 million or less, to receive a 10% discount on their taxes. Open space discount, we ask that you decline to opt the discount. And the residential exemption, I know that we've talked about this previous councils and et cetera, but it is another area that we would not want to adopt, mainly because it's really made for places that have very high rental properties, numbers of rental properties, and that is not something that Braintree has. We have homeowners, essentially more homeowners than we do rental properties. Overall, if you look at the numbers, I think that the tax rate is going down. That's positive. We have good growth in our commercial sector and overall very positive growth in our residential properties. If you're selling, it's great. If you're not, well, it'll be great someday. So I just want to thank the Ways and Means Committee for their work and their recommendation. And I know that you had some great questions. Appreciate that. And with that, I would just ask for you to approve based on our recommendations.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Are there any members of the council who would like to speak on this evening? Councillor Flaherty?
I think Braintree is very lucky to be able to have such a robust commercial base that we can shift a disproportionate portion of our taxes onto them. It's one of the things that helps our residential taxes to remain low. And so when you're evaluating what the percentage of the shift can be, the critical question to ask, because you definitely know you want to keep taxes low on residents, is to what extent can our commercial business community bear the increase? And so the question that I asked our Board of Assessors is, well, how robust are they? We've come through COVID, how are they doing? And can they bear this shift? We've taken the same shift every year for many, many years. So, and the answer that I got was very heartening, because they absolutely supported that this was something that could be borne by our commercial tax base. And so I am happy to support it tonight, and grateful to live in a community that has that kind of base that can help cut residential taxes to that extent.
Thank you, Councilor Flaherty. Councilor Reynolds?
Thank you, Madam President. And I would say, just a follow-up, I think, to Councilor Flaherty's comments, I will be voting in favor of this evening. However, I think it's important to note that, we have gone to the full 2.5 increase this year. I think that the financial situation we find ourselves in Braintree, that we really didn't have any kind of a choice to that. The growth numbers that have been referenced this evening are specifically reflective of the values of these properties, and in some cases their inventories. I don't think that they reflect a growth in commercial in our community, and I just think that it's just a perspective that I wanted to make sure that we're clear about when we get into some of the other financial factors as we're approaching the next fiscal year season. Those types of numbers are going to be very important to us. It is what it is, what we have as far as property taxes because of the 2.5 limit that each community in the state has, particularly Braintree. We can only derive basically from a valuation increase. We can't derive any more additional revenues that I think that the community is looking at in terms of some of the last budgets that we've had and some of the areas that are concerning. And I would very much look forward to working with the administration on how the other numbers of our economy are starting to bear out. In particular, I don't know if we yet have a free cash certification number for us to be able to make any other types of estimates and how our economy is going. I would be interested in a few other things too when these times come, particularly how our reserve accounts are going. So these are just, I don't want to be the skunk in the room, but I do want to be able to note that this is just one piece and it is the start of the new fiscal year, working our way up out of our assessments and then getting into the more germane aspects of how we're going to create a budget as go into next year, which is a main concern of the Ways and Means. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilor Reynolds. I'd just like to add, first of all, my thanks to the Board of Assessors and our town auditor who was with us earlier this evening but is not here tonight, Sean McGoldrick, our Director of Finance, who I understand took time out of his vacation to attend the Ways and Means meeting last week. So that's a level of commitment that I don't think many towns get. So thank you so much, Director Spellman, for that. I know that our property taxes, and as a property owner myself, matter a lot to all of us. They're the single biggest contributor to our town's budget and a real investment in the community. So I just want to take a minute to make sure there's two things I want to make sure residents are aware of as we talk about our taxes and our tax growth year over year. The first thing, there's three components that make up our tax base. So it's our property values, which we've talked a lot about already, the debt exclusion, which we voted for in 2020, and then new growth and redevelopment, which includes both brand new developments and revitalization of vacant lots and undervalued properties. So I think it's important that residents are aware. This year, we budgeted for about $850,000. It's a projection of new growth. We fell short of that projection by about $250,000. So what that means is as we look to balance the budget for the upcoming fiscal year, we will need to find $250,000 from another source of funding to close that gap to meet our budgetary obligations. So while $250,000 may not seem like a ton of money on a $152 million budget, every dollar matters, and making sure that we have continued economic growth is really imperative to make sure our town thrives. The second thing on the taxes that I think it's important for residents to remember, so what the council is voting on tonight is what portion of the tax pie residents and small businesses will pay, and what portion commercial and industrial property owners will pay. And this is what the shift that, that's been referred to this evening. I will be fully supporting these motions this evening because what this shift does is it sends a higher proportion of the tax burden to our large-scale enterprises in town. And in turn, that provides relief, tax relief, for homeowners and small businesses. And I think that's especially important in the current inflationary environment. I also think it's fair that given our large-scale businesses benefit from exceptionally low utility rates, our ideal locations, these are things that are very hard to come by elsewhere in the state. So again, I don't want to gloss over property taxes for people because it is such a big deal for everybody, renter or homeowner, because we're all paying in together. So thank you for the time. Anybody else? All right, so with that, we have several motions to work through. Each one needs to be voted on separately. So first I'll ask, is there a motion for order 22065?
Madam President, a motion be it ordained that the town of Braintree, through the Braintree Town Council, adopt a recommendation of the mayor and the Board of Assessors to approve the classification tax rate shift of 175% to be applied to commercial, industrial, and personal property.
Second.
Thank you, Councilors Hume and Ringus. Clerk Semino, roll call vote, please.
Counselor Baraka?
Yes.
Counselor Flaherty?
Yes.
Counselor Hume?
Aye.
Counselor Mackin?
Aye.
Counselor Maglio?
Aye.
Counselor O'Brien?
Aye.
Counselor Reynolds?
Aye.
Counselor Ringus?
Aye.
Counselor Ryan?
Aye.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
That is unanimous. Motion 2.
Madam President, to approve the small business exemption as recommended by the mayor and the Board of Assessors in a memorandum to the Town Council dated November 28, 2022, and is filed with the office of the town clerk. So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Councilors Hume and Ringus. Clerk Semino, roll call vote, please.
Counselor Baraka?
Yes.
Counselor Flaherty?
Yes.
Counselor Hume?
Aye.
Counselor Mackin? Counselor Maglio?
Aye.
Counselor O'Brien?
Aye.
Counselor Reynolds?
Aye.
Counselor Ringus?
Aye.
Counselor Ryan?
Aye.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
That is unanimous.
Madam President, a motion to continue to adopt the recommendation of the mayor and the Board of Assessors as outlined in a memorandum to the Town Council dated November 28, 2022, and is filed with the office of the town clerk to decline the open space discount. So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Councilors Hume and Ringus. Clerk Semino, roll call vote, please.
Counselor Baraka?
Aye.
Counselor Flaherty?
Aye.
Counselor Hume?
Aye.
Counselor Mackin? Counselor Maglio?
Aye.
Counselor O'Brien?
Aye.
Counselor Reynolds?
Aye.
Counselor Ringus?
Aye.
Counselor Ryan?
Aye.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
That is unanimous.
Madam President, to continue to adopt the recommendation of the mayor and the Board of Assessors as outlined in a memorandum dated November 28, 2022, and is filed with the office of the town clerk to decline the adoption of the residential exemption. So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Councilors Hume and Ringus. Clerk Semino, roll call vote, please.
Counselor Baraka?
Yes.
Counselor Flaherty?
Aye.
Counselor Hume?
Aye.
Counselor Mackin? Counselor Maglio?
Aye.
Counselor O'Brien?
Aye.
Counselor Reynolds?
Aye.
Counselor Ringus?
Aye.
Counselor Ryan?
Aye.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
That is unanimous. Congratulations, Mr. Mayor. Motions pass. We will now move on to 22067, Mayor, reappointment to the Braintree Contributory Retirement Board for Edward J. Spellman Jr., or take up any action relative thereto. I would refer to Chairman Reynolds of the Ways and Means Committee for their recommendation.
Thank you, Madam President. The Ways and Means Committee met on December 1st and voted unanimously for recommended approval for Mr. Spellman.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone from the mayor's office who would like to speak? Mayor Kokoros.
Thank you once again, Madam President. I'd like to speak to both of these members and the value that they add to the retirement board. I mean, obviously, we all know our finance director, Ed Spellman, and Mr. Driscoll has vast amount of experience and is an attorney, and they have done a great job for us. And I appreciate a positive recommendation. Thank the Committee on Ways and Means for their support.
Thank you very much. Any members of the council wish to speak? Is there a motion?
There sure is, for Mr. Spellman. Upon the request of His Honor, the Mayor of the Town of Braintree, through the Braintree Town Council, in accordance with Sections 3-3 of the Charter of the Town of Braintree and Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 32, Sections 24C, to approve the reappointment of Edward J. Spellman Jr. to the Braintree Contributory Retirement Board for a 3-year term. So moved.
Thank you, Councilors Hume and Ringus. Clerk Semino, roll call vote, please.
Counselor Berica.
Yes.
Counselor Flaherty.
Yes.
Counselor Hume.
Aye.
Counselor Mackin. Counselor Maglio.
Aye.
Counselor O'Brien.
Aye.
Counselor Reynolds.
Aye.
Counselor Ringus.
Aye.
Counselor Ryan.
Aye.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
That is unanimous. Moving on to 22068, Mayor, reappointment, Braintree Contributory Retirement Board for Joseph R. Driscoll Jr., or take up any action relative thereto. Chairman Reynolds, I will turn it to you for your recommendation.
Thank you, Madam President. The Ways and Means Committee met on December 1st and recommended approval unanimously to the full council for Mr. Driscoll.
Thank you very much. Any councilors wish to speak? Yes. In that case, is there a motion?
There sure is. Upon request of His Honor, the Mayor of the Town of Braintree, through the Braintree Town Council, in accordance with Sections 3-3 of the Charter of the Town of Braintree and Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 32, Section 24C, to approve the appointment of Joseph R. Driscoll Jr. to the Braintree Contributory Retirement Board for a 3-year term. So moved. Sorry.
Thank you, Councilors Hume and Ringus.
President Berica, excuse me, Counselor Ryan would like to speak. Counselor Ryan, you have the floor.
Thank you. I just wanted to say I fully support the reappointment to Joseph Driscoll to the Retirement Board. Joe was a past member of the Board of Selectmen and our representative for the town of Braintree. He's got wonderful knowledge of these issues related to the Retirement Board, and plus he's a great guy, so I fully support this. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Ryan. Clerk Semino, roll call vote, please.
Counselor Berica.
Yes.
Counselor Flaherty.
Yes.
Counselor Hume.
Aye.
Counselor Mackin. Counselor Maglio.
Aye.
Counselor O'Brien.
Aye.
Counselor Reynolds.
Aye.
Counselor Ringus.
Aye.
Counselor Ryan.
Aye.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
That is unanimous. All right, moving on to 22069, Mayor, acceptance of donations or take up any action relative thereto. Once again, I will turn to Chairman Reynolds for the Committee of Ways and Means recommendation.
Thank you, Madam President. The Committee on Ways and Means met on December 1st and voted unanimously a favorable recommendation to the full council for Council Order 22069.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone from the Mayor's office who would like to speak? Chief of Staff Taub.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the council. Madam President, with your permission, I'd like to ask Amy Hanrahan, who's with us this evening, to join me at the podium.
Please.
And as she makes her way up, just a little bit of background. The request this evening is to establish a scholarship in the name of Maria Dye Dillon. Maria was an integral member of several corporate finance teams at consulting firms, including BRG, FTI Consulting, and PricewaterhouseCoopers for almost 3 decades. Maria has a special relationship with Braintree High School and highly valued the strength of its academic program. Her daughter, Maeve Hanrahan, was a graduate of the class of 2022, and one of Maria's closest colleagues of over 20 years, Robert Duffy, was a graduate of the class of 1980. During her professional career, Maria served as a mentor to several young associates that were just beginning their financial careers, and was always impressed by those students who joined after graduating from the Eisenberg School of Management from the University of Massachusetts. And so with that in mind, the Maria Dye Dillon Memorial Scholarship would be awarded annually to a graduating senior from Braintree High School that is planning to attend the Eisenberg School of Management. And the current fund balance is $10,200 that will be used to fund those annual scholarships. And through the chair, I would like to offer Amy an opportunity to speak and share a little bit more about Maria.
Please, thank you. Thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you. Hi, my name's Amy Hanrahan. I'm here on behalf of the Maria D. Dillon Scholarship. Maria was my best friend and really like a sister for 40 years and passed away September 24th after a year-long battle with colon cancer. She was really an intricate part of my family, passed away at my house on hospice care, and godmother to my daughter Maeve, class of 22. She really respected the Braintree education, and my daughter did really well at Braintree High School, so there's a lot of gratitude there. I also have a son who's class of 25, and Robert Duffy, her longtime colleague, class of 80. In addition to that, you know, she really had a really strong connection to Eisenberg and said they were some of the strongest candidates she ever met, particularly when she worked at BRG, and was really involved in the hiring process and mentoring process. This scholarship means more than just financially helping students. It's a great way to keep her really beautiful, benevolent spirit alive. Maria was the first to donate to anything. And in fact, when she was on her way to Mass General for what would turn out to be more than a 14-hour surgery for colon cancer, she was the first person to donate to our friends' GoFundMe for Boys and Girls Club. So she was always doing this. She would love for her name to be affiliated with helping students better themselves. So, so that's why we're here. And there is $10,000 currently in that. That was seeded by a couple of her coworkers. We think we can raise $100,000 and donate for 10 years to a Braintree High School senior going to Eisenberg. So that's our intention. That's it.
Counselor Hume.
Thank you, Madam President. First, let me say sorry for your loss. Are you all friends, family?
Janet is also a high school friend. Yeah, she had a big connection of friends and everyone.
Well, thank you all for being here tonight, but most importantly for, like you, as you mentioned, keeping her memory alive. And that sure will do that, and the recipient of each of your scholarships will be so appreciative. And as all you know, college education is quite an expensive thing, but to lose somebody is hard enough, but then to go the additional step to raise funds and set up a fund and a scholarship fund and choose the Braintree students to do that is quite an honor and a huge achievement, and I thank you all for that. Myself, Councilor Ringus, were on the school committee, so there was many times students can, they need all they can get when they're going off to college. But again, I think the most important thing you're doing is keeping her memory alive and being here tonight and representing her memory and her honor. It's greatly appreciated, so thank you very much. We'll 100% be supporting this.
Thank you, Counselor Hume. Anyone else? And I don't think anyone could have said it better. We're very lucky to have this generosity come forward, and thank you for sharing your story and Maria's story. And I'm at a loss for words, so I'll just leave it at that. Is that all right? With that, is there a motion?
That the town of Braintree be and hereby is authorized in accordance with Section 53A of Chapter 44 of the Massachusetts General Laws to accept the following gifts upon the conditions attached and herein set forth. The donor, Maria Di Dillon Memorial Scholarship, the gift of $10,200 for the purpose of the Maria Di Dillon Memorial Scholarship. So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Counselors Hume and Ringus. Clerk Semino, roll call vote, please.
Counselor Barrica?
Yes.
Counselor Flaherty?
Yes.
Counselor Hume?
Aye.
Counselor Mackin?
Aye.
Counselor Maglio?
Aye.
Counselor O'Brien?
Aye.
Counselor Reynolds?
Aye.
Counselor Ringus?
Aye.
Counselor Ryan?
Aye.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
That is unanimous. Thank you so much. Moving on, we have no new business this evening, so with that, I will ask, is there a motion to move all orders under new business to their respective committees?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Counselors Hume and Ringus. Clerk Semino, roll call vote, please.
Counselor Barrica?
Yes.
Counselor Flaherty?
Yes.
Counselor Hume?
Aye.
Counselor Mackin?
Aye.
Counselor Maglio?
Aye.
Counselor O'Brien.
Aye.
Counselor Reynolds.
Aye.
Counselor Ringus.
Aye.
Counselor Ryan.
Aye.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you very much. With that, I do want to let folks know on Thursday, December 15th at 7 p.m., there will be a 3-board meeting. It will be hosted by the Master Plan Steering Committee and attended by Town Council and the Planning Board. That's, again, December 15th at 7 p.m. Our next regular council meeting will be held on Tuesday, December 20th at 7:30 p.m., and hopefully we'll see everyone at the Christmas party this coming Thursday, beginning at 6:30 at Campanelli's. Thank you so much to our team from BCAM, Wes Ray, Bill Needham, and Jerry Comack, and their entire crew for always getting us out to the broader Braintree community through cable and live streaming on the BCAM YouTube channel. We appreciate your guys' time every other Tuesday and sticking with us. So with that, is there a motion? Oh, Councilor Ringus.
I just wanted to note before we ended, part of the referral to the Committee on Ways and Means was 22072 Mayor Home Rule Petition. Retirement of Officer Ryan McHugh. We're taking up any action relative there too. Officer McHugh is in attendance tonight. He has served our town faithfully and dutifully for a number of years. He has a number of family and friends who are present with him tonight, and we thank him for his attendance and his service, and I'm looking forward to us sort of taking this up at a future meeting, but the referral tonight gets that to our Committee in Ways and Means, chaired by Joseph Reynolds, who will take action on that and then get back to the full council. So thank you all for being here tonight and supporting Officer McHugh.
Thank you, Councilor Ringus. Thank you.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Clerk Semino, roll call vote, please.
Counselor Barrica.
Yes.
Counselor Flaherty.
Yes.
Counselor Hume.
Aye.
Counselor Mackin. Counselor Maglio.
Aye.
Counselor O'Brien.
Aye.
Counselor Reynolds.
Aye.
Counselor Ringus.
Aye.
Counselor Ryan.
Thanks, Sue. Aye.
All in favor to adjourn.
This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.